Beautiful. All right. So let's just go ahead and first things first, let's rub our palms together and bring your hands to the center of your chest. And close your eyes down. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Relax your whole body. Breathe in. And exhale. Deeper relax. Bigger deep breath. Fill your entire lungs. And exhale fully. And let's inhale for 3 ohms together. Inhale deeply. And I'd like to start us out by invoking the Gayatri mantra, the Gayatri Savitur, perhaps the one that's most well known. And we'll do a few rounds of this. If you don't know it, just listen and just receive. And if you do know it, please chant along with me as we invoke the Gayatri here on this winter solstice day. Inhale deeply. Om Bhurvuvah Swaha Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. Om Bhurvuvah Swaha Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. Om Bhurvuvah Swaha Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. Om Bhurvuvah Swaha Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. Om Bhurvuvah Swaha Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. Om Bhurvuvah Swaha Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. Om Bhurvuvah Swaha Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. Om Bhurvuvah Swaha Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. Om Bhurvuvah Swaha Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. Inhale deeply. Hold the breath, straighten the spine, center yourself. Bring the thumbs right into the sternum. And exhale, release. And bring your hands down to your knees. Breathe. Beautiful. And let's just do some nice, wide, gentle circles, long, deep breaths. Inhaling, just long, deep breaths. Exhale, releasing. Good. And I just want to talk a little bit about this mantra that we just invoked, the Gayatri mantra, and how it's also associated with the goddess Saraswati. So for those of you who don't know, here's a little depiction of Saraswati with a musical instrument. That's often how you'll recognize Saraswati. She's holding a musical instrument. But another way that you recognize Saraswati is she's typically holding a scroll. So a lot of the depictions you'll see either a scroll or a book. And so she represents that embodiment of supreme wisdom. So she's associated with the Gayatri Mantra because the Gayatri Mantra, particularly this one, which is called the Gayatri Savitur. So the Gayatri Savitur actually is relationship to the sun. It's like the sun's Gayatri Mantra. And this invocation of the Gayatri Savitur is said to be hold the essence of the Vedic teachings, the yogic teachings. It's kind of one and the same, really. They kind of weave, but there's these four main Vedas in the yoga tradition, and it starts with the Rig Veda. And these Vedas are teachings, right, that are the foundation for the entire yogic system. Let's switch directions. And the essence of these Vedic teachings is said to be contained within the Gayatri Mantra, the Gayatri Savitur Mantra. And so that relationship with that mantra and the Vedic teachings correlates with the supreme wisdom embodiment that is Saraswati. So as we invoke Gayatri, we invoke Saraswati. As we invoke Saraswati, we invoke the supreme wisdom. And what does it mean to be supremely wise? It means to be in a place of conscious awareness of the supreme grace of life. That you recognize that there is a miracle happening and that miracle never stopped happening and it always has been happening. That the miracle of life, for us to experience our journey, is the supreme grace. Calm, centered, inhale deeply. Hold the breath, root lock, just a gentle root lock, and straighten your spine. Close the eyes, focus at the third eye. Exhale, release. Nice. A gentle spinal flex, chest forward, chest back. Inhale forward, exhale back. So often she is depicted riding upon a swan, Saraswati, right? That represents the supreme grace of the swan that floats upon the waters of emotions, the waters of thoughts and feelings. But she's there riding the swan with supreme grace, right? So here we are with this movement and breath. It's like we're invoking that supreme grace to just be with us. And in that grace, there's wisdom. There's that supreme wisdom because we realize there's just a natural flow to life. That is the beauty of Saraswati, teaching us that, oh my gosh, we just got to flow like the swan through all the waters. Sometimes they're turbulent, sometimes they're calm, sometimes there's big waves, and sometimes it's just a still lake. And that you get to experience the pristineness of the water or the reflection or even just seeing through, right? So the swan has so much significance with particular Saraswati, but it also represents that relationship to beings that have attained an immense amount of mastery. So in the yoga tradition, there's a title that's called Hamsa. That's the title of the swan. So probably one of the most famous, well-known yogis is Paramahansa. Param, the great, Hansa, swan. So Paramahansa, Yogananda, is the great swan, Yogananda. And Yogananda means, Ananda means bliss. Yoga is the union. So it's the great swan of blissful union. That's what Yogananda's name is. His title and his name. The great swan that is in blissful union. That's a nice title, huh? It's a nice way to identify ourselves. Or identify himself. and be identified by his community, his Sangha. Okay, inhale, straight spine. Hold the breath. Root lock, gentle root lock. Base of the spine. So a muscle at the very base of the spine engages. Your tailbone tucks under. You bring the energy up, and then you exhale. Let's open up the side body a little here. So come over to your left, stretch over to the left, and then come on over to the right and stretch over to the left. Right, sorry. Just nice, easeful, flowing, graceful movements. So this whole practice, we're going to just embody our swan-like Saraswati nature and just be in supremely graceful flow and ease, and embody wisdom in action. So with that said, make sure that you are listening to your body, you're acknowledging whatever limitations that might be presented to you this morning, and you just make adjustments or you just sit things out if it doesn't feel comfortable. But in general, this is going to be a pretty gentle class, so with just nice flow, flowing with your breath. Inhale through the center and then exhale to each side. Okay. Yeah. Beautiful. And just keep going. So what's also fascinating about Saraswati and the teachings of Saraswati is that she represents all the artistic expression, right? So she's depicted with an instrument, right? This is typically, it's called a veena, which just means a stringed instrument, just like actually tar means a stringed instrument. So we have guitar and we have sitar, but that's actually, I believe it's Arabic for strings. So we have these stringed instruments. All right, let's come back to center and release. Deep breath in and exhale. Beautiful. All right, gentle twist. So let's go ahead and just bring our hands behind our head and just twist left, twist right. Inhale left, twist right. Inhale left, exhale right. And you can kind of go slower if you'd like, or pulsate, and just keep opening up the spine, this beautiful central channel where all this prana flows up and down the spine. So as I was saying, as part of this relationship to flow and grace is creativity. So Saraswati is said to, when we talk about in the beginning was the word, the vibration. And she in the Rig Veda is known as Vak, or speech, or sound, the sound current, nada. And through that sound current, through that vibration of sound, form is materializing. Without that vibration, it's just space. It's imperceptible through our sensory experience. So at the nature of Saraswati is infinite creativity. Infinite creativity. Okay, inhale. And then bring the elbows down and towards each other. Curl the spine. We'll just work the upper spine a bit here. And exhale as you come in. Inhale, open up, chest up, elbows back, and then elbows in, exhale out. In and out through the nose. Good. Keep going. Okay, open up, hold, root lock, and exhale. Release. Breathe. Okay, let's use the Swan Mudra. Two thumbs touching each other, fingers down, right? And we got our swans meeting. And right here at the fifth chakra, because this is where Saraswati resides, at the fifth chakra. Okay, the creativity, the sound, the speech. This is, well, and second chakra, but primarily she's more known as in the fifth chakra. So here, close your eyes down. Another option is to stare at the tip of the nose or bring them up to the third eye. Okay? And then I want you to breathe in 8 bursts through the nose. And then hold. Exhale out in 8 bursts. Hold the breath out a little bit and then in. Inhaling 8 bursts in. Hold at the top. Exhale 8 out. And then hold out. And then release. And let this practice, let this pranayama practice be an invocation to your own swan-like nature, stilling your mind, stilling your thoughts, stilling your emotions and feelings, and shifting into this graceful state. Letting the breath slow down the mind and the thoughts and the emotions. Letting the music and the mantras just deeply serenade your being. Keep going. 8 in, hold at the top. 8 out, hold at the bottom. Last one, inhale, hold it at the top. And see if you can just hold it and just be so relaxed in a very supremely graceful place. And then slowly exhale, release. So there's the classic yogic Vedic teaching that says that when we can look into the waters, right? The classic thing of like looking into a pond or a lake. And if the water is all turbulent, all you see is the waves. All you see are the ripples. But if it stills and then you can look look at the water and the light's right, you get to see your own reflection, right? And so that's so symbolic that if we're in all sorts of turbulence within our life, if we have all sorts of dramas happening and our minds are all over the place, our feelings are all over the place, if our emotions are all over the place, it's so hard to see our true self. It's so hard to see our true reflection. We're so identified with the storyline. We're so identified with the drama. And so the practice of the yogi, the practice of aligning with Saraswati, is how do we get to this place to get to a place of just clear reflection. And what a beautiful intention to set on this new year. Like, let's start by doing our best to make an effort, a conscious effort to still the emotions, still the stories, and not be so identified with all the storylines, all the things that are going on, but to come back to the center of our being, to recognize the grace that's always present, the miracle of life that's always present, the consciousness that's always present, and that supreme flow of creativity that's always happening, always here for us. And we can set that beautiful intention as well, that may I invoke that Saraswati essence of infinite creativity that I am, because we are Saraswati. We're part of creation. We are consciousness. So our infinite flow of creativity is right here. It's right now. So let's flow. Bring your hand into lotus. Bring it up through the center and flow down. Get into a flowy movement with this motion. Get into a graceful, creative flow. Allow your creativity to move like a dance. It is a dance. Life is a dance. And if we can dance with life, then we can enjoy our lives. So may all the creativity that's here for us just continue to be embraced, unleashed, because we are infinite creative beings. This is what Kundalini is, infinite creative consciousness. As we do these practices to open up our central channel, to open up the chakras, opening up the Kundalini to move through the whole central channel and express itself through all these different vectors of consciousness. So in essence, Kundalini is Saraswati. Mm. 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 Just feel yourself going deeper and deeper into a relaxed state of mind, state of heart, presence. Do your best to really anchor presence. It is a discipline. It's an act of intentionality. You're going to be present. You're going to be here now. Mm. Mm. Okay, come back to the heart. Hold this lotus. And actually just bring it up a little higher to the fifth chakra. Mm. And set your own intentions here of how you would like to awaken and keep expanding upon your own Saraswati nature, your own creativity, your own ability to express yourself, speech, song, poetry, art, on and on, architecture, the ongoing refinement of your own creativity. Namaste, Saraswati Devi. And slowly close the mudra and bring the hands into triangle mudra there at the fifth chakra. Okay, this is a really powerful mudra to bring in energy, particular energy into the fifth chakra. Okay, and so we're going to use her bija mantra, Aim. Aim. Okay, Aim is the seed syllable for wisdom. Aim. 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 Keep going. Aim. 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 Hold it. Exhale. And one more bija mantra for the fifth chakra, Ham, H-A-M. Ham. Om. 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 Inhale deeply. Hold the breath. Straighten the spine. And exhale and release. Good. And I want you to stay here with your awareness at the fifth chakra. And I want you to visualize the color blue. Really beautiful color blue. Could be like a sky blue or emerald blue. And I want you to just stay with that energy at the fifth chakra. Maybe you hear the mantras internally at the fifth chakra. And then from this blue light of energy, visualize, if you can, we'll go into a little bit of visualization practice here, a white lotus blossoming at the fifth chakra. And upon that lotus opening up, starts to materialize the goddess Saraswati riding the swan. So you have all this blue light of energy, and then the white lotus, and the white swan. And then the goddess Saraswati. So one of the very important parts of this practice is to recognize the sacredness of our own being and the sacredness of these centers of our own being, like the fifth chakra, each of the chakras. And as we place more and more divine awareness within our own being, when we place a goddess at our throat, we recognize this is a temple right here at our fifth chakra. This is the temple of our fifth chakra. And if we recognize that, if we have more and more awareness of that, then the question is, what do you do with the temple of your fifth chakra? Do you refine your speech? Do you refine your ability to share sweet words, uplifting words, uplifting ideas, thoughts, visions? Or do you destroy and dismantle with your words? Do you criticize and judge and critique? So it's all our relationship with the temple of the fifth chakra and our relationship with the goddess Saraswati. And whether that really plays out for you or not, regardless, you can get it from the tangible aspect, the practical aspect. Is your voice something that you're continuing to develop, refine? What do you do with your songs? Do you sing about tractors? Or do you sing about, the divine grace of life? Do you sing about dramas and complain? Or do you sing about your own awakening? Do you invoke celestial mantras? Or do you scream at your own victim nature? So this is bringing in more and more presence and awareness of this incredibly potent chakra. So many traditions around the world, they put such a strong emphasis on the sound current, on the power of the word, the power of mantra, that it has the power to uplift and create such beauty, such magnificence. It has the ability to direct the mind to such celestial realms. We all know that when we're such loving, kind beings and we're uplifting each other and ourselves with kindness, with sweetness, with grace, it's just, the whole experience of life elevates. And then we know what happens the other way. Life becomes miserable. And then there's this constant pursuit of escaping life, escaping our human experience. But this is not Saraswati. Saraswati is fully embracing the beauty of the experience. Let's go ahead and stretch our legs out. So go ahead and bring your legs out in front of you. Let's reach up. And let's bend forward. Just a forward bend, a gentle forward bend. And breathe with this. Open up your spine. Open up the vertebrae. And just sink into your breath. Sink into opening up, because this whole process of opening up and bringing in breath and bringing in prana, it elevates your whole consciousness experience. From the tantric perspective, like, our whole bodies have consciousness. And so as we open up and stretch and breathe, we enliven the whole system. So this is a supremely wise thing to do. Stretch your body. It's supremely wise because it uplifts your whole human experience. As simple as just stretching and opening up the body and just breathing deeper is a supremely wise thing. So simple and so wise. Okay, release. Bring the right leg in. Reach up. Left leg still out. Come forward. Now left hand goes up and right hand goes over, and stretch your side body out. And I always emphasize that a yoga practice is really just an act, that maybe the greatest act of self-love. It's like, oh, let me give myself time to nurture my body, to bring in prana, life force. Let me clear my energy field. Let me calm my mind, this mind, so that I can ultimately have such a better human experience. And release. Switch legs, right leg forward, left leg in. Reach up and forward and left arm over. Breathe deep, like really breathe deep and sink deeper into your own being. Now, everybody's experienced a backache, a pain in your knee, pain in your elbow, a headache, toothache. These pains just drag our whole state of consciousness down, right? The tendency is then just to go right into complaining. Oh, my back hurts. Oh, God, life. Why am I here? What's going on, right? There's just instant negativity, instant complaining. So if we can daily give our bodies love and hopefully reduce some of the karmic pains of our body temples, then we literally just give ourselves the possibility of having a better and better human experience. Come back up. Now both legs wide. Rise up and come forward. You can grab your toes, or you can just reach down the middle, breathe, and open up. So this is why it's just so self-loving. You're loving yourself, you're loving your body temple. You're choosing to give it some nurturing. You're choosing a time to still yourself, to align with the grace of just pure presence. Good. Come back, release, feet together. And then bend forward. And then rise up. Bend forward. And just continue. And so one of the questions I have for you all in this next year to come is, can you commit to a daily practice of loving yourself? Doesn't have to be this, but what can you commit to that brings more love into your own being, that brings more grace into your awareness? Because that is the essence of Saraswati. That the whole act of creation and the ongoing act of creativity is love, is loving. And so you, as the creator of your own life, you have that ability to create so much beauty, create such an incredible life. The power is within you to create the most incredible, miraculous life. And that same power is within you to create absolute misery. Create the most miserable life for yourself. So the yogis say it takes equal effort. It's the same amount of effort to go into misery as there is the effort to go into a sublime state. Inhale, straight spine. Exhale, release. Come back to cross leg. So I often hear this, I don't have time for my yoga practice, or I'm just not disciplined enough for my yoga practice. So then my question for you is, if you're not doing yoga, what are you doing? And is it an act of self-love, or is it self-betrayal? Are you creating a story of all the things that you need to do to distract you from just actually loving yourself? Because ultimately, when we sit here in this practice, we're saying, I love myself so much. I love myself so much that I want to just be with myself. I want to open up my body. I want to love my body. I want to open up and expand my mind. I'm going to bring in mantra and breath work to expand what's possible in my field of consciousness. And I'm going to calm to the best of my ability. I'm going to calm all the emotions and the feelings and the stories so that I can come back to the essence of my being in the most self-loving thing. So then the question is, if you're not doing that, what are you doing? That's what Saraswati asks us. What are you doing with all your creativity? Is it wisdom in action, or is it destruction in action? Is it sabotage in action? And these are deep, deep questions that we have to have. And here we are on this most potent day. Winter solstice, it's the first day of this whole new solar cycle, 2024, whatever that means. That doesn't mean anything in the galactic year. But from our perspective, that's what it is. But regardless of what year it is, from our mental concepts, it's the new solar rotation. It is the time where, from the yoga perspective, one of the most potent times to set our intention. How are we going to be more self-loving? How are we going to use this creativity that is within us, that is through us, that is as us, for this coming solar cycle? It's an incredible responsibility. And it's a discipline. So my inspiration that I want to share with you all is commit to a yoga practice, commit to a mantra, commit to a breath practice, commit to a meditation that you're going to do every day. And not because it's like, I have to do this meditation or I have to do this practice, because I know that this is the most loving thing that I can do for myself. So what can you commit to that is the most loving thing that you can do for yourself? That is an incredible sadhana. And I can recommend one for you if you don't know. What I would recommend for you is to simply, at the basic level, we just sit with ourselves with the most loving intentions that we can. And if you can't do that, or if you would like to enhance that experience, maybe you bring in mantra. Maybe you chant to the goddess Saraswati, and I'll give you a follow-up email with some mantras that you can chant to her. Om Aim Saraswati Namaha. You could chant that. Or you could chant the Gayatri mantra. Om Bhur Bhuvasvaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Diyo yona prachodayam. And invoke an expansion of mind, expansion of awareness, so that you go into this solar cycle with optimism. We drop the complaining. We drop all the victim stories. I can't believe this is happening. Well, believe it. It's your life. You want to change life? You want to change your life? You have to set that intention. You have to do it. And that's self-loving. That's supremely wise. The unwise thing to do is to keep doing what you've been doing that's not helping. That's not evolving you. That is not wise. That's not Saraswati. Saraswati is infinite creativity, infinite flow, evolution. She demands evolution. And if you don't listen to Saraswati's grace, her sister Kali comes and shatters your life. So you can listen to the supremely graceful goddess, or Kali comes and destroys things. There's no other way out. So it's actually very supremely wise to just love yourself and do it in a very gentle way. Because if not, you have a crisis. And you have to learn how to love yourself through crisis. We've all been there, and we all continue to be there. But that's not Saraswati. That's not graceful. That's chaotic. That's traumatic. So wisdom teaches us to learn how to practice daily, to love ourselves daily, to love others daily, to love this earth daily, to love God daily. And that we don't have to have traumatic, destructive experiences, going to wars because of ignorance. Because we're not loving ourselves. Because we're not loving our neighbors. Because of the color of the skin. Because of the difference of beliefs. On and on and on. All the illusion, all the ignorance. That's not Saraswati. Saraswati is the utmost refinement of culture. Saraswati is the utmost understanding that we're all here in this infinite creative flow. That's supremely wise. Embracing the diversity of all of Saraswati's creation. Can we do that? That's an impressive sadhana. It's an impressive sadhana. So bring your hands back to the center of your chest. Let's do a few more rounds of Gayatri. And we'll close the practice with that. And we'll chant along to this beautiful version that our dear gracious Deva Kamal and Miten have graced us with. So if you don't know it, like I said, just listen and receive, and then I will send you a follow-up email with this mantra and something you could practice. And I'll also send you playlists that you can practice this with. And if you know it, chant along, okay? Om. Let this ripple out for your whole solar year. Om Bhurguvasvaha Saviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Bhurbhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Change the mudra, just point your fingers up. Bhurbhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam. All the other fingers interlaced. Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Hands in Gyan Mudra, out by the sides. Continue. Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhurvuvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhurvuvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhurvuvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhurvuvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhurvuvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhurvuvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Continue. Bring the hands together, still in Gyan Mudra. The 3 fingers touch together. The other ones, Gyan Mudra still. And continue. Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhurvuvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhurvuvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhurvuvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhurvuvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhurvuvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Bhurvuvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhurvuvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhurvuvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhurvuvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhurvuvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhurvuvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhurvuvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhurvuvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhurvuvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi. Last mudra. Hands up to the third eye in prayer. Svaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhurvuvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhurvuvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhurvuvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhurvuvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. Inhale deeply. Hold the breath. Exhale. Bring your hands to your hearts. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Namaste, sweet community. Sangha, thank you. Thank you for being here. Wow, so beautiful. You know, I never quite know what's going to happen in these classes, so it's beautiful to receive. I'm right here receiving with you. You know, that's just the reality. And what an incredibly potent and beautiful intention to make this year, this solar year, the most loving year you've ever had. And it doesn't have to be about anybody else, it has to do with you. Set that intention that this year is going to be the most loving I have ever been with myself. That is a profound intention. And I hope that that's something that you can take with you and really follow through with, to implement. And there's practices and there's strategies for that. It's not just a default, sadly. Sadly, it's not the default. So it takes effort, it takes intentionality, it takes discipline. And that is self-loving. So the discipline is self-loving, and the loving is discipline. It's cyclical. You have to be disciplined to self-love, and self-loving is discipline. So love your discipline. Love your practice. Love that you want to do it every day. And I'll send you a follow-up email for practices that you can do on your own, even if it's just singing. I highly recommend singing. In fact, it's going to lead to the next thing that I would love to recommend to you all, is to please join me at some point. I'm going to be leading my first online Kirtan and Bhakti Yoga training this spring. And also there's lots of wonderful trainings, another level 1, level 2 Kirtan Bhakti Yoga training happening in July 10th through the 16th. And what I'm about to launch this year for the first time, which is very exciting, is something called Bhakti Bootcamp. So for 6 days, 6 full days, we're going to go through each chakra, each day, each chakra. We'll learn about the gods, goddesses of each chakra, and we're going to learn about the empowerments that take place for each chakra. So how to be empowered through each of those chakras so that we can live a divinely empowered life. And we resource and are, gaining our wisdom from these incredible yogic teachings. So that ultimately, the whole thing, I think it's so important to come back to the basics of all of this, all the vastness of all these teachings. It's about self-love, right? It's about becoming a better human being. So even though it may feel foreign, maybe it feels strange, maybe it just feels like, I don't know, what's the deal with Shiva and Ganesha and, why all these, deities and what is it all about? And culturally, we have to have breakthroughs because it's been like, there's a stigma about it. But these beings have always just been teachings for us of how to be better human beings, how to appreciate the miracle of this life more and more. That's what Bhakti Yoga is. It's about how can we love ourselves more? It's about how we can love each other more, how we can love this earth more, how we can be devoted to God more, the divine, whatever it is for you, consciousness. That's what Bhakti Yoga is. And so it's self-love. And my emphasis through these different trainings that I'm offering ultimately is to give you, and hopefully give you more and more understanding and practicality of a system that's been here for thousands of years, that's saying, hey, we have observed the human race for quite some time. We've observed billions and billions of people. And here's some teachings for you. Here's some practices for you that we have learned are very, very self-loving. Very self-loving. They're so self-loving, you won't even comprehend who you will become in the next solar cycle if you do this practice. If you do the Gayatri mantra, even 3 times a day for a whole solar cycle, you wouldn't maybe even recognize yourself with how much you've transformed and elevated your consciousness. So I share this with you. I share this as an inspiration that if this path calls to you, if what you've been hearing and what you've received from me throughout if it's just this class or throughout the years with music, whatever, that let's study more. Let's dive deeper into it. Let's see what blossoms for you. So I'm excited. I'm super, super excited for this year. I think it's going to be the most self-loving year I've ever had. That I'm definitely setting my intention for. So I'm thanking Saraswati for that graceful intention for the year. And in addition to that, setting that intention to bring in more mantra, bring in more yogic practices into my life and into our lives. So I'm going to offer you that opportunity online this spring, Bhakti Yoga and Kirtan. For those of you who want to just do it online, for those of you who want to come in person, please join me. Come down to Sedona, come be with the Red Rocks, come be in this incredible land, vortex, sacred temple space that is Sedona, and activate your yogic self-love, your Bhakti Yoga and your Kirtan. Kirtan is the 5th chakra. Kirtan is the grace of Saraswati, of mantras, of loving ourselves through our voices, loving our voices, loving ourselves through our voices, connecting it with the heart, and then ultimately offering it back. Kirtan is the act of offering back our voices, offering all the creativity that's flowing through us. We just offer it right back. We offer it back to our community. We offer it back to the land. We offer it back to just consciousness itself. That's Kirtan. And that's why at the supremely divine place, it's called the ecstatic congregation of coming together and chanting the sacred names, the sacred vibrations. That's Kirtan. So if any of that calls to you, I would love to have you join me for future events and trainings, and keep diving deeper into the Modern Bhakti Yoga Academy. So thank you again so much for spending your most precious of winter solstice mornings with me, or days with you, or with me, and just taking this time to learn more about and connect more with the goddess Saraswati. It's an ongoing learning and evolution. There's never an end to any of this, spiritual journey. There's no end. Please don't put an end game. Don't put an end game to awakening or enlightenment. There's no enlightenment. There's just enlightening. We are continually enlightening our experience. That's the act of creativity, the act of wisdom. So Jai Saraswati, bless you on this new solar year. And I really hope to see more of you. And namaste, everybody. Namaste. Namaste.